When people think of World War II, they usually imagine tanks, rifles, and massive armies clashing on the battlefield. But behind the scenes, the war sparked a wave of wild experimentation. Desperate for an advantage, nations began designing weapons so strange, so unconventional, that they sound more like ideas from a science fiction movie than real history. Some of these weapons were never used, others were tested and failed spectacularly, and a few were so dangerous they shocked even the people who built them. Today we're counting down the top 10 most bizarre weapons of World War II. Make sure you watch until the end, because number 1 is truly unbelievable. Number 10. The Nazi sound cannon. Germany experimented with a weapon designed to kill using sound alone. Known as the Schallkanon, this device used powerful low-frequency sound waves aimed at enemy troops. The idea was that these waves could cause extreme dizziness, nausea, and even internal organ damage. During tests, subjects reportedly felt intense pain after only a few seconds. However, the weapon required enormous amounts of power, worked only at very close range, and was almost impossible to aim accurately. In real combat situations, it proved useless, but the concept itself was terrifying enough to earn its place on this list. Number 9. Exploding rats. One of the strangest weapons ever designed came from British intelligence. Dead rats were stuffed with explosives and intended to be secretly placed near enemy boilers or furnaces. The expectation was that German soldiers would throw the rats into fires, causing sudden explosions. The psychological effect was just as important as the physical damage. Although the weapon was never successfully deployed, a shipment was discovered by the Germans, creating widespread paranoia. From that moment on, enemy forces were forced to treat even dead animals as potential bombs. Number 8. The bat bomb. Yes, this weapon was real. The United States developed a plan to use live bats carrying small incendiary devices. Released over Japanese cities at night, the bats would naturally seek shelter inside wooden buildings, roofs, and attics. Once inside, the bombs would ignite, starting hundreds of fires simultaneously. During testing, several bats escaped and accidentally burned down parts of an American military base. While the idea showed potential, it was eventually abandoned in favour of faster and more controllable weapons. Number 7. The Panjandrum. The Panjandrum was a massive wheel fitted with rockets and packed with explosives. Its purpose was to roll across beaches during an invasion and smash through enemy defences. On paper, it seemed like a simple and devastating solution. In reality, it was completely uncontrollable. During tests, the rockets fired unevenly, causing the device to spin wildly in random directions. In some cases, it rolled straight toward the soldiers who were testing it. The project was quickly cancelled, becoming one of the most chaotic weapon experiments of the war. Number 6. The Goliath tracked mine. Germany also developed one of the earliest remote-controlled weapons. The Goliath was a small tracked vehicle filled with explosives and guided by a long wire. It was designed to drive under tanks or into enemy fortifications before detonating. While innovative, it had major weaknesses. The control wire could be easily cut, the vehicle moved very slowly, and it could be destroyed with small arms fire. Despite its flaws, the Goliath is often seen as a precursor to modern drones and robotic warfare. Number 5. Project Habakkuk, the ice aircraft carrier. During the Battle of the Atlantic, the Allies faced a serious problem protecting supply convoys from submarines. Their solution was almost unbelievable. They proposed building enormous aircraft carriers made from ice reinforced with wood pulp, a material known as picrete. This substance was extremely strong and nearly impossible to sink. A prototype was even built and tested in Canada. However, the project required massive refrigeration systems and huge resources, making it impractical. Eventually the idea was abandoned, but it remains one of the strangest naval concepts in history. Number 4. Kamikaze aircraft. Some of the most shocking weapons of World War II were not machines, but people. Japanese kamikaze pilots flew aircraft loaded with explosives directly into enemy ships. These missions were deliberate suicide attacks, designed to cause maximum damage and shock. While the tactic was effective in some cases, the human cost was devastating. It stands as one of the most haunting and tragic examples of how far nations were willing to go during the war. Number 3. The Nazi sun gun. Among the most extreme German projects was a plan to place a weapon in space. Known as the sun gun, It involved a massive orbital mirror designed to focus sunlight onto the Earth's surface. In theory, it could burn cities or boil large bodies of water. In reality, the technology required was far beyond what existed at the time. The project never progressed beyond early concepts, but it remains one of the earliest ideas for space-based weapons. Number 2. Disguised assassin weapons. British intelligence specialised in weapons that didn't look like weapons at all. Everyday objects such as pens, umbrellas, and even chocolate bars were turned into deadly tools. These devices were designed for secret agents operating behind enemy lines. Small, silent, and nearly impossible to detect, they allowed assassinations to be carried out in plain sight. This level of deception shows just how creative and dangerous wartime innovation became. Number 1. The V3 supergun. A number 1 is a weapon so ambitious that it bordered on madness. The V3 supergun was designed to fire shells from occupied France directly into London. Using multiple explosive charges placed along its massive barrel, the shell would be accelerated repeatedly as it travelled forward. The weapon was enormous, fixed in place, and impossible to hide. Before it could ever be fully deployed, Allied bombers destroyed the site. The V3 supergun stands as the ultimate example of how the obsession with superweapons often led to spectacular failure. World War II pushed science and human creativity to its absolute limits. Some of these weapons were born out of desperation, others out of pure imagination. While a few ideas helped shape the future of modern warfare, many of them failed spectacularly and were never used again. They remain strange reminders of how far people were willing to go to gain an advantage. If you enjoyed this countdown, let us know in the comments which weapon surprised you the most. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more World War II history, and join us next time for another deep dive into the most unbelievable stories of the past.